So The Lost Millennium was released on June 1st, 2005, and it's considered by most as the debut set for the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era. In my opinion, I think that started with Soul the Duelist, but I do think that collectors have reached the consensus that TLM is what begins it, just due to the cards inside and how they relate to the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. This set features iconic monsters like Ancient Gear Golem and Flame Wingman, and also incredibly useful cards for the game like Death Wombat, as well as the iconic Brain Control. So this video will be another installment to the Ultimate Collector's Guide of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sets. We're going to be covering TLM, every single Ultimate Rare, hobby, retail, all the other dynamics, as well as we're going to be opening up a whole hobby box at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this is the Lost Millennium. It's not really a complete set because it's missing the commons, but for these GX sets, I'm not really that enthusiastic about them, so I don't really collect everything. I mean, I have the set, it's just not in a binder, it's like in a box, and like, you know, every single card is penny sleeved and then inside of a baggie, stashed away in like my bulk box. But anyway, this is basically every Ultimate Rare that you can pull from this set. Some interesting facts about this set in terms of the commons before we get to the ulties is number one, it introduces Death Wombat. This card, you guys know I play Burn, so it's like pretty much my arch nemesis. I hate that card, but it is introduced here. Some other really cool commons introduced here are the Charmers, right? So the Charmers that we infamously know today. We have Hita, Asa, Win, as well as Iria being introduced here. And then they age as the sets go on. It's a really cool aspect, and in my opinion, it's deserving of being mentioned. Now those are the cool common cards. Now let's get into the Ultimate Rares. Some things you should know about the ulties here is, number one, a lot of the cards that you see here don't actually exist on the Japanese sides as Ultimate Rare. What they did on the Japanese side is they actually only made Ultimate Rares of the Ultras as well as the Supers from this set. However, when they brought it over to the TCG, because of the hobby and retail dynamic, they ultified the rares from these GX sets. Right now, if you don't know what I mean by hobby and retail, I covered it in this video here. So things like Midfield Gardener, things like Elemental Mistress Doriado, things like Ancient Gear Beast, Millennium Scorpion, these cards literally do not exist as Ultimate Rares on the Japanese side. And this is why you'll find some of these cards go to astronomical prices in the brand called Asian English. Cards like Elemental Mistress Doriado can fetch up to $10,000 in Asian English. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, it's also understandable because they don't have any alternatives. Another thing that we should know about this set is this is the first set to introduce European Ultimate Rares. Now, EU Ulties are a special breed of Ultimate Rares that were printed in Belgium in Europe. What they have is a special foiling. They just got stamped a lot harder than they did on the North American side. So like you're gonna see a lot of detail in the Ultimate Rare etchings compared to what you see on the North American side. This is a big problem on the North American side. It is very flat. I mean, I understand why people have gripes with it. However, the cons on the European side is that the card stock is abysmal, okay? Now, TLM is not that bad. TLM is actually really decent. If you pull a pack fresh card, you can pretty much expect 0 to very, very little whitening. While on the TCG North American side, obviously you will find no whitening at all. Like the card quality here is on par with things like Metal Raiders, okay? TLM is absolutely incredible. But anyway, the European Ultimate Rares are plagued with whitening on the back. So if you're a condition freak, I don't recommend you go for EU Ulties. However, if you don't really care about condition and you're just throwing them in the binder, then EU Ulties would be a great alternative to North Americans because they look a lot better on the front. I'm a person who appreciates the front and the back though, so this is why I stick with North American. In the case of TLM though, I have made a couple of exceptions. So for example, I have a European Flame Wingman over here. And you can see here like the etching is a lot deeper. The carvings are a lot deeper. It just looks a lot better. And this one was actually pulled straight from the pack. This is why I made the exception. I only really want 5 cards from this set in EU Ultimate Rare. And that is Wing Karibo, Ancient Gear Golem, the 2 E-Heroes, as well as Doriado. Currently, I have Flame Wingman, I have Doriado, and I have Thunder Giant. I am missing these two. I actually just picked this up from Casual Yugi stuff, so I'm not really missing it, but I am missing it right now physically. Shout out to Casual Yugi stuff, by the way. He hooked me up with a pack fresh copy of this. Now let's get into the actual set here. So we start off with Wing Karibo. This one, in my opinion, is actually quite an underrated card. Like, this card appears in the first episode of GX. It's handed from Yugi to Jaden. And I just think that that's such a cool identity for this card. I mean, it takes a really iconic monster. It adds a little bit of a spin to him. I mean, it looks great. You know, I love portrait style artworks. I love the ultimate rare on this, and it's just fantastic. By the way, if you want these sleeves, these are the orange arcane sleeves. TLM, I know the pack is gold, but it's actually the orange in this series. Like, if you don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh sets go by color. They start off with green. That's usually always a duelist pack, and that's Soul the Duelist. And then you have yellow, which is Rise of Destiny. Then you have red. Then you have orange. So this is why TLM is an orange set. It is not actually a yellow set, regardless of what the pack art says. Next, we move on to Ancient Gear Golem. Now, this card, in my opinion, I think is quite overrated. I still have it and I still want one. It's just, I don't think it's on par with these. But then again, I'm not really a Crowler fan, so might have to do with that. Ancient Gear Beast, another support for Ancient Gear Golem. And again, these were all released at the same time. This is the first appearance of Ancient Gear archetype. We have Millennium Scorpion, Ultimate Insect level 7. We have Cryo Sphinx, and then we have Herako Sphinx, Mega Rock Dragon. There isn't really too much to say about these. I mean, they're just random rares. Again, according to the Japanese, they were not even supposed to get ultimate rares. Grave Oja, Master Monk. DD Survivor is a great card in terms of playability. And this is where I would put the first edition. Midshield Gardner, if I had one. Reshef the Dark Being. Elemental Mistress Doriado. This card is gorgeous. This, in my opinion, is one of the top waifus. Like, that is, at least, I mean, to me, I'm not really a lolly guy, but I think that this is definitely a waifu card for me. I think this card looks incredible, and it looks even better in European and Asian English. Flame Wingman, this card is an ultra ulti, so just like Ancient Gear Golem here, this originally was an ultra rare, and it got ultified in the set. Oh, actually, Reshef is another ultra rare, but this is like the bastard brother of the ultra ultis in TLM. Remarkable how cheap it is. These guys, though, they're in like the few hundreds. Thunder Giant is the last ultra ulti from this set. Again, there's only 4. It's Ancient Gear Golem, Reshef, Flame Wingman, and then Thunder Giant. Now, Thunder Giant is, for some reason, stamped a lot better than anything else in TLM, okay? Like the North American, even the stars. Like, take a look at the stars here. This is a North American copy, by the way. Compare it to the stars on Flame Wingman. Like, were these printed at the same time? Like, what's going on here, right? Like, it's just every single Thunder Giant looks a lot better for some reason, while every single Flame Wingman looks way worse. It just looks a lot flatter. I'm not sure why that's the case, but it's the only card in TLM that has this. Next, we have Card of Sanctity. This card is absolutely gorgeous in Ultimate Rare. Absolutely deserving of this. And I mean, what more can I say? I mean, the Japanese are definitely missing out when it comes to this. That's pretty much everything here. By the way, if you guys want to know how I do these, it's just a booster pack that I put 2 cards in. I make sure to take out all the air and fold the bottom and the top, and then slip it right in here. Again, make sure you take out all the air, otherwise it will bloat the whole binder page. And then we move on to the last page here of TLM. Now, in terms of ultimate rares, I would definitely say that Brain Control and DD Survivor are like the only ones that are that are really playable. Everything else here is pretty much garbage. I can't really recall anything else being like super prominent. But Brain Control is like by far the strongest card in this set. We have Legendary Black Belt. And by the way, the European copy for this, for some reason, doesn't look as good as the other Ultimate Rares in EU. So I'm not sure about that. I own this as well. Like in EU print, I pulled it myself. But for some reason, it just doesn't look that differentiated from the North American copy. Legendary Black Belt, Nitro Unit. Hero Signal looks gorgeous in EU and Asian English. We have Kazaki's Self-Destruct button. We have Token Festival here. This one is one of the more useless token cards. Like just like how there is like token cards like for the Ojamas, there's counter picks for that. And usually it involves these goblin things. And this is the worst one out of all of them. We have Spell Stopping Statute. It's not really that prominent. And then we have Royal Surrender. That's pretty much the whole TLM set. I mean, again, it's definitely top heavy. The bottom is really, really lackluster. I mean, the other sets, for example, like CRV has a lot of rares that are really prominent. The TLM set, however, is just lacking. I think it's definitely being carried by the hobby alties, and yeah, they're definitely carrying most of the wave, that's for sure. If I was to pick top 5, it would definitely be the ones that I want in EU. It would be Wing Karibo, Ancient Gear Golem, these two, and Elemental Mistress. Every single one of them is absolutely garbage in terms of playing. The only reason they have value is collectability, and that says a lot in my opinion. But that's pretty much the TLM overview set. Now I want to get to the pack opening, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this is a Lost Millennium first edition booster box. This is a hobby box, and the way that I know this is from the code right here. As you can see, it says 103075. The 75 indicates hobby. Alright, so without further ado, let's get this box open. Before we start ripping off packs though, I have to get my arcane sleeves ready. These are the gold version, and they are perfectly suited for this Lost Millennium opening. This is a very, very expensive box. The best card in here is definitely the Flame Wingman. The second best card in here is definitely the Ancient Gear Golem, I would say. And we're gonna start with the first pack at the top. We have a holo right off the bat. We have Avion, Rock Bombardment, Hita, Death Wombat, and Token Festival. Oh, no holo, I guess. Battery Charger, Cryo Sphinx. And if you guys have watched my other openings, you would know that the Charmers here, pretty much in every set, were pretty much growing up. Like Ausa, Hita, Iria, all of them, they start maturing as every set goes on. I just think that that's such a cool aspect that they decided to do. Level conversion map, Elemental Hero Sparkman, Pikaru, and Kozaki's Self-Destruction. Where's Tinetrex, Ancient Gear Soldier, and there's the first holo, Hyro Sphinx. Ooh, Thunder Giant. That's huge, holy smokes. That's like the third best card in here. Oh my goodness. Holy, I was not expecting that. Incredible, there it is. Look at the way this card shines, bro. Oh my goodness. 5, I think this one is the second holo. We're gonna leave this one here for the last pack. We're just gonna take this one just in case. Oh my god, I'm super happy with this. Thunder Giant is huge, man. This card is extremely difficult to pull. Alright, Hita. Hero Signal. I do believe that there is a high probability that the other ultimate rares will be Flame Wingman or Gear Golem. I don't think... I'm pretty sure there was some sort of pattern to recognizing which ultimate comes where. Brain Control. Millennium Scorpion. Mega Rock Dragon. Oh, what the heck? Mega Rock Dragon. Damn. This is the second ultimate. This one's actually really solid. I mean, it's still like, I think it's like $100 card raw. Nice. So it's quite up there in price. It's definitely no Thunder Giant, but those are the two ultimate rares. It might be like a box where you get 3, but I really doubt that. But if we do, that's going to be insane. Like if you pull 3 ultis from this, it's going to be crazy. Elemental Mistress Doriado. I guess we can just open these now since the 2 ultis have been pulled. Spell Stopping Statute. Midshield Gardener. Yeah, so maybe it's not an error. Rock Bombardment. Grave Oja. Ultimate Insect level 7. Ultra Rare Thunder Giant. That's pretty much, I think, every pull. But this is not bad. If it's not like Golem or Flame Wingman, this is definitely the Ultra that you want to pull. Oh yeah, you definitely don't want Reshef of Destruction. That card is garbage. So Thunder Giant is pretty good. Token Festival. Royal Surrender. Kozakis. Midshield Gardener. Ancient Gear Beast. Elemental Mistress Doriado. That's pretty much it, guys. The super rares that we pulled were Hierarcho Sphinx, Brain Control, Mega Rock Dragon, Ultimate Insect level 7. The ultra rare is Thunder Giant, and then the ultimate rares are Mega Rock Dragon and the insane Elemental Hero Thunder Giant. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you want to support me further, you can support yourself by picking up your own Arcane sleeves. They're for collectors, by collectors. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.